Will my auto insurance policy cover me when I rent a vehicle from Turo? If you're not familiar with Turo, Turo is essentially an Airbnb for your vehicle. So while you're not using your vehicle, you're able to use the site to rent out your vehicle to other people to use. Now, Turo is really used for higher end luxury vehicles that you can't get at a normal rental car company. So first, it depends on where you're renting the vehicle from. So your auto insurance policy is only going to cover you if you rent the vehicle in the geographic limits that the policy covers. Now, for most policies, that's going to be United States and its territories or possessions, Puerto Rico and Canada. We do have one company that offers worldwide coverage for rental, but that is the exception and not the norm. So you want to check with your insurance company on their coverage on their territory limit. And also, second, how long are you renting the vehicle for? If it's more than 30 days, it's not going to be covered. The rental agreement has to be less than 30 days. So assuming that you are renting within your geographic limits of your policy and the agreement is for less than 30 days, your New York State auto policy will provide coverage to rent that vehicle. Now, disclaimer, know your policy, contact your insurance company or agent for verification of your own details. Now, when you're finalizing your rental agreement with Turo, they are going to give you 4 options to select from to limit your out-of-pocket expenses for the physical damage coverage. There's the Premier plan, which is a 0 deductible plan. So if any damage to the vehicle, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. There's the Standard plan, which is a $500 deductible, which is similar to what you'd see on most personal auto policies. Then there's a Minimum plan, and that's a $3,000 deductible. And then fourth, you have the option to decline the physical damage coverage, which you are able to do if you have a New York State auto policy. Now, if you're 18 to 20 years old, they're only going to give you 2 options. They're going to give you the Standard or the Minimum plan. So you only have the option of selecting a $500 deductible or a $3,000 deductible. You don't get the option for the Premier plan. You are not allowed to decline the physical damage protection if you're only 18 to 20 years old. So people always ask me, Rhett, this is great insurance advice, but what would you do? Now, granted, remember, you are able to decline the physical damage protection. But for me, what I consider if I was going to be purchasing or renting a vehicle from Turo and selecting a physical damage plan, I'm going to consider where I'm renting from, what type of vehicle, and then really the cost between the minimum and the standard plan. So now, depending on where I'm going, if it's a densely populated area and there's a lot of congestion and traffic, and I'm not familiar with the area, and maybe the parking situation isn't great, I don't get to park the car in a garage, the car needs to be parked on the street, maybe blocks away from where I'm staying, I'd probably opt to buy the physical damage plan. And then the type of vehicle. These are higher end vehicles. They're going to be packed with a lot of technology that's really meant to keep you safer. But when you're new to the vehicle, they can really sometimes end up being a distraction for you. So if you're driving around trying to figure out the tech while you're driving, it could be a recipe for disaster. And when you're in a new vehicle, it's just different, right? There's different blind spots. It drives differently. There's more horsepower. The braking can be harder or softer. So there's a lot of variables that kind of go into it that really, affect whether or not you want to get that physical damage protection or not. And then really I'm going to look at the minimum or the standard. So I'm not a big fan. I don't mind taking on some risks. 3,000 is a lot to take on. I'd probably steer towards the 500 unless both those options were really way out of my realm. I probably wouldn't, decline the coverage. I'd at the very least hopefully be able to afford or be willing to pay for the minimum plan, the $3,000 deductible. I just personally steer away from all out declining the physical damage protection, just for the sheer reasons that I like to protect my insurance premium. I don't want a claim to happen while I'm renting a vehicle that's going to affect my insurance premium. I look at it, if I buy this protection plan, I pay a little bit more during the rental period, and then if I do have a claim, I got a one-time shot of hopefully just maybe $500, maybe worst case $3,000, but it's done. I pay it and it's done. Or if I have to put the claim on my personal auto insurance policy, that can increase my premium, and that can affect me for 3 to 4 years, which can turn out to be a lot more money, which I don't really care for. I like my insurance premium the way it is, and I don't want anything to affect to make it increase. So I hope you found this tip helpful. If you would like us to review your insurance and provide you with a no obligation quote, feel free to give us a call. Thanks, everybody.